Oh, hello. All right, today is an exciting day. It's Sunday, and I have a game review today for another one for Marik. Marik? Marik? Not sure. Versus Hank. That one I'm confident. Hank. Hank. Okay. 4Q versus 3Q game. It looks like, I think it's played on KGS, because all of the times, like the time for each move, stays in sync. It's a fun game. The theme of this game is going to be slow moves, how to avoid or how to notice when a move is slow. Maybe not before you play it. Hopefully before you play it, but definitely afterward when you're reviewing your own games. So we have Marik is black, and we see the Chinese opening, and white plays 3-star formation. It's not usually played as white, but why not? Okay, so far so good. This one, usually black goes a little bit farther, either to J17 or sometimes K17, because Black can go a little bit farther, get a little bit more space, and it's still really solid. So, in general, I recommend to go at least this knight's move, or sometimes large knight's move, just to have more eye space for your group. This one, okay, it's a little bit tighter, and black gets this one. So far, well, I guess it's white's turn, so okay, white gets to play a move. So far, I think the opening is quite good for black already. I feel like um, black has 3 sides and a lot of influence in the center, and white only has one side. Although white's upper left corner is solid, but the bottom left corner is still open. So far, I think black is doing just fine. Black chooses to invade, which is okay. It seems fine to invade white's only area, but my personal style, I probably prefer to play either this or this. Something for the upper right corner. Because I think black's area is bigger, so why not keep growing your own area, which is bigger than your opponent's, and just have more points. Don't have to start a big invasion fight if it's not necessary. But I think it's pretty reasonable. The area is still wide open, so invasion's definitely possible. This iron pillar. Okay. So black does this large knight's move slide, which is fine. Push up and then jump. Okay, this seems like a pretty reasonable result for both players. White gets more solid in the upper left and now a completely solid corner, but black was able to split up the side. So it seems okay. But if I were black, I'd want to try to get a little bit more. I would consider maybe playing this one to go farther into the corner, or maybe attach. But this one seems fine. If we get the normal type of follow-up, white plays here, block the corner, black peeps, and then jump here. If we compare with the actual game, up to here, black's shape is just about the same, but white's corner is a lot smaller because later on black is able to play this, which destroys almost all the territory. So A3 will be a big endgame move later for both players. So this is a little bit better for black to remove some of the corner territory. So white might try this, or maybe this. But I think black should be able to get a good result no matter what. With this one, something like this maybe. If it's a it's got to be very good for black. There's no co-threat, right? White can do anything, and black will ignore and take the co. So white might get something in the upper right, but white's big side is destroyed and the corner is still weak. So I think white can't play the ko. Probably connect. I think it would be overplay for white to play this Hane. Then black can extend and then come over here to kill the 5 stones. Yeah. So this should be... This is, of course, a disaster for white. So white should probably play here. Black can descend. And even if this... White should probably play here, in which case black can come back and fix the shape somehow. Maybe this makes good shape, or this fixes both cuts, but overall the shape is kind of ugly. If white gets this peep and extend, then... yeah. Black shape is kind of ugly. So I'm not really sure. Maybe play this one, because this cut's not working right now anyway, because of the net. Although there's this Atari and extend. So there's still Aji, but it was white's area to begin with. I think black would be really happy with this result. Let's see. If white wanted to cut, I think it's even worse for white. Those will become sente, and just attach here. Then all of a sudden, the bottom, it looks like black's going to make a lot of territory on the bottom, even if white takes these 5 stones, black's compensation is really good. It's a reasonable sacrifice. So anyway, this is all not too important. We're just looking at seeing if black can get a little bit more than the actual game. But actual game result is still fine. Seems fine for both players. This jump. I think this is our first slow move. I don't really see... The jump doesn't really put very much pressure on this group, nor does it put very much pressure on this group, or on this stone. So I don't really... And it doesn't... this group, white's group in the bottom left, doesn't really need to be defended after making this really strong shape. So I feel like g5 is a bit slow. And this one... Okay, black's group is potentially weak, so add one more move. I would maybe consider just jumping, just to get farther out into the center. Then if white plays somewhere else, if black, some pattern happens in the upper right, if black gets another turn over here, then black can surround and have nice influence in the center. So this one, when you play the diagonal move like this, it means you're emphasizing the A area more than the area around B, but the A area is really strong for white. Black doesn't really have any follow-ups in this area, compared with if black jumps, then any move in this area, it's a pretty good follow-up for black to surround the white group and make the central influence complete. So this one, okay. This is very unusual. I don't know how to respond. I think almost for sure it's got to be either A or B. We can take 4th line territory while removing the base for our opponent. So the question, which one to play, A or B? Well, I think that the C group over here is pretty strong. It's got clear eye shape already and plenty of eye space. So for that reason, I prefer A. If white descends to try to make something on the side, then either black can pincer. This is probably the best idea to make sure that these two white stones don't have a base, and this helps the weak group. So that looks really good. Otherwise, black could also try this just to build the right side more. And this way I don't like so much, because this stone, it's okay, but now I feel like black has a potentially weak group that black should help. Looks like white can attack this group now, so probably should play this way to help the weak group. And it's kind of difficult to handle these two stones as white. Can still probably do this, but black makes a lot of territory on the right, and now the black group in the upper side is very stable. And still, these white stones don't have clear eye shape. So I don't really like this position as white. I think that's why I don't think this 6-6 reduction move is necessary. Still, white could easily play this one or this one. It's still wide open, so better to invade on the third line and set up a base. Even if it's going to end up a little bit cramped. This one, maybe black could go in right away. So maybe white wants to play here. It's much better than the other variation, because in this way white already has a base, so the group is much healthier. And if it gets healthy enough later, could still look to play this 3-3 invasion later. Okay. So the knight's move, okay. I would prefer the fourth line. I don't see why not. Fourth line puts a little bit more pressure on the white stone, and it takes more territory. I think the third line is a little bit mild. Maybe too calm. Okay. So I don't usually like the Tewari analysis, you know, like the 1, 2, 3, you reverse the order of the moves, but I'm gonna do it here because I think in this case it's really, it actually makes sense. So if white approaches here, black probably doesn't want to play this. Black probably wants to do the boot, this sort of thing, and attack. But, okay, black could do this. But do we think that white is really going to play this two-space jump? This looks very unusual. I'm sure white's going to want to play this and do the normal pattern. Make a solid group. This looks pretty good for white. So if we go back to the actual game, it's the same thing. It's like white approaches, black answers, and then white jumps 2 spaces. Unusual. Kick, okay, take the corner. So here we have the times. So black has 8 minutes 37 seconds, and after this 8 minutes 35 seconds. So black spent 2 seconds on this, but I really think it's worth, I think that this move is worth considering. I think it's worth taking some time to think about this. If black plays this way, then sure, white can go into the corner. Like this. White can take the corner, but look at this one, the 014 stone. It's doing nothing now. It's very, very, very awkwardly placed. It's right next to a really, really strong black group. It's difficult. And this influence works really well with black's supporting cast. This stone, this stone, this stone. It looks like black's center is starting to look really, really good. And white's corner is still only going to be, you know, absolute maximum 10 points. Even if white got all of this, it's like 9 points maximum. Although, it is also depriving black of those same points. So it's a pretty big point swing, but black can definitely use this influence. So I think it's worth considering. At the very least, it's worth more than this situation. I think it's worth more than 2 seconds. Just extending here, or blocking the corner this way. But okay, this is still a great situation for black, especially this white's move p15 is, I think, a big mistake. White should definitely play here to start to set up the base, make some eye shape. If one of my opponents played p15 against me, if I'm black, immediately this in this situation I don't think at all. I play this instantly without thinking. What do you do as white? If you fix this way, then black can capture the stone and link up. The ladder is good for black, right? Yes, ladder's good for black. So that doesn't really work for white. So what does white do with these 5 stones? Could push here. Okay. Push. Okay. So black takes, you know, the full corner, 15 points, plus like another 15 points on the right side, and is completely solid. And this white group, maybe one point, and it's still weak. It doesn't have 2 eyes yet, and no base, so it could still be attacked. So this one, it's kind of the same thing. So maybe white wants to play this one, but I don't think it's any better after black extends. Maybe just extend here. Then, I'm sure black is going to make a lot of points attacking this group. White jumps, black jumps. Black can start to make this big area in the bottom right, and still white's group, it's pretty weak. No eyes yet, and there's only black stones around, so it's a good situation for black, for sure. But N4, it's very uninspired. If we look at the other way, where this way black is going to be attacking this group, and it looks like black can make a big area in this bottom right corner. It's like not just the corner, but this way it looks like black is trying to make, you know, like 100 points. At the very least, it's developing the potential for that. But in the actual game, black says, oh, okay, I'm happy with just taking the territory under the 4th line. So, you know, this would be like 15 points in this little rectangle. So like 15 points versus attack, give pressure. You can take 100 points instead of 15. Okay. So white invades. And here, black jumps again. I don't think it's necessary. I still... I'm going to sound like a broken record soon, but still I think this is the really big point that black should play. But jump, okay. Then this one. Ignore again. One thing I want to compliment black is that so black realizes this is not Sente. The corner is completely fine, so should take Sente to play somewhere else. Excellent. This one, okay, maybe it's threatening a follow-up here. Okay, so white responds. But this one is really slow. The maximum amount of points, like what's the maximum amount of points? Oh yeah, I put in the numbers. Maximum amount of points this move can make is like 12 here in the center. But still with a move like this, something like this, it already takes 12 points here, plus it's got a good relationship down here, so you can make a lot of points in the center also, while attacking a group. But this one, it doesn't threaten white at all, and it doesn't take that many points, so I think it's much too small. I think black's groups are strong enough at this point, shouldn't really worry about being attacked. But white gets this key point, so now white's group is a lot happier, and black jumps. And of course white invades immediately. We've all been in a situation like this, right? I don't think it's too unreasonable though. It's definitely white's area, black's area, but the corner is still open. There's still definite possibilities for white to do something against this one stone in the corner. So if I'm white, I think this invasion is reasonable. It's looking for either A, to attach or connect underneath back to the side group, or attach in the corner and maybe get a small life in the corner. So for instance, if black does something like this to block the connection, then go here, and I'm sure white can do something down here. Should definitely be able to live with a small group. Okay, so black decides, alright, I'll take the corner and let my opponent connect underneath. But white peeps and then jumps with the knight's move. So I'm pretty sure this is awful. The peep, all this peep does is eliminate it makes black stronger. Now this attachment doesn't work. If we go back a couple moves, white could attach here immediately, and then there's this sort of thing that can happen, where, okay, white gives up the one stone, but splits this stone, and makes a pretty nice influence. So white's right side group used to be really weak, and now it's starting to make nice territory in the center. So that seems like a pretty good result for white, pretty reasonable. But in the actual game, after this peep, it's no longer possible. This attachment, it doesn't work. So peep, and then if white really wants to jump, should just jump and then leave this option open. But peep, and then knight's move, and then black just jumps, but this is pretty slack. If I'm black, I'm going to cover with the knight's move for sure. This gives way more pressure. It's like, if black jumps, okay, white jumps, okay, black jumps, okay, white jumps, okay, black jumps, okay, white jumps, and then if we go back here, this was black's area, right? But white was able to invade and just jump, 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 jump away. So it doesn't really feel, it feels like if it's black's area, like this, then black should be able to give extra pressure and make it really hard on this white stone. But just jumping like this doesn't give that much pressure. It's too easy for white to just jump, jump, jump away. So I like the knight's move, and if white pushes, keep going. Hane, extend. So there's two thoughts here. First of all, it gives more pressure directly. If white fixes the cut, okay. So I'm going through it pretty fast. It looks possible, right? Probably this is the point where black should stop trying to attack. Probably after this. I think maybe here. And then Atari. Give the stone up. Oops, one sec, I have to cough. Sorry about that. Should drink some water. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what the continuation, what the, the best continuation would be. But I think black can expect something like this. Um, and actually, it's still really difficult for white. Jump down. Push. Cut. Capture. Okay. So white can definitely live. The point isn't to kill, although it looks pretty tough for white to live. But the point is to lean, force white to play more stones next to your strength. You've got these two stones here, so you want to use them in the fight. So playing strong moves like the knight's move to press white into your strength makes it a lot more uncomfortable for white. White has to struggle a lot harder. And if we look at the end result, maybe it's not going to be exactly like this, but at the very least, even if black just gives up the attack here and plays like this, black makes like 30 points in the center, and the corner's still okay. Black's got this corner, a couple points here, a couple points here. Looks pretty good. Black's able to get a lot of thickness by attacking, by giving a lot of pressure. But just jumping doesn't really have the same effect. Now, jumping here, okay, I like this to give more pressure. Let's see what happens. Aha. This one. So my inclination, it feels like this should be the right move. White extends, then what's weaker? These white stones? Oops. The white A group or the black B group? Looks like the B group is weaker. So black plays this, which is like a ladder maker. So white extends. This one, again, I think the key point is clamp. Clamp here. And here, maybe not. Okay, so this one. So end result. Black's center is kind of destroyed. Like up till here, black is really happy to live, right? Like black's like, oh, relieved, like, oh, my group got surrounded, but I managed to live, so not too bad, right? But I think it kind of is too bad, because if we go back, way back to this invasion, white is much weaker than black, right? It seems like black makes this big area in the bottom right, and white comes in. Black should be able to get a big advantage here. But if we fast forward, it turns out black is just happy to live. So something went wrong, and I want to single out this move. I think the difference, it's only one line difference, but the knight's move, Hane, gives way more pressure. I think black can get a much better result this way. Okay, but let's keep going. Attach. This looks like too much because this white group, the white group here is not really alive. It doesn't have a base and it's not clearly connected out yet. So I think it's too soon to be playing a move like N3. Just extend, okay. Mm-hmm. Aha, so it's a net. Okay. So maybe can black consider doing this? Lock Atari, push down. Then, yeah, this should be okay, right? White can connect underneath, but then black can kill this stone. So this should be better. Compare with the actual game. After white kills these, then white is really thick with this group. Whereas the other way, there's still something black can do. And still this white group here it doesn't have clear eyes actually at all. I think it's still going to have to struggle. But okay, let's keep going. Ah, K2. This is another one of those quite slow moves. At this point, maybe black can keep attacking with this. If white does this, then push, Atari, and extend. It looks like still this white group is pretty weak. It's going to want to jump out here, block it, bamboo, push out, push, jump, something like this. It actually looks like black could consider trying to kill this group. Huh. Because it really has no eyes at all. Yeah, I don't really see, I think at this point, white needs to jump and give that up. Huh. Play the net. Still, it's okay for white, but then now if black blocks, it's a pretty big difference. We got to capture those 3 in Sente, so it's like 15-point swing. In Sente, that's pretty nice. But just playing K2, it doesn't really... It's big for points, but still, at this stage of the game, there's potential weak groups around, so I prefer to try to attack. White just descends, but I think white should definitely play something around here to help this group. Especially, this looks pretty terrific. If white can capture these 2 cutting stones, then the game should be pretty easy for white. But this one, okay. Black responds, okay. This one. So actually, if white's going to play elsewhere, the Hane's better. Well, I guess it depends on the circumstance, but this one, it's a lot bigger. But I guess white was afraid that black will have Sente this way, whereas descending like this, black could definitely consider doing this immediately. I think black's corner is okay, but I don't know. Okay, black responds, but black doesn't respond here. To play this perfect. So black realizes that d18 is definitely a big endgame move, but there's some stuff that black can do here to keep fighting. Okay. Okay. No! But the Atari, it's not quite passing, but it's almost a pass. Should play here, and I think black can kill this group. Huh. Still, yeah, it's still going to be something like this. I don't see how black can, or how white can make eyes. This one, black can just back off, and it's 1 eye maximum on the edge in Gote. It looks dead. Oh, sneeze. Oh. Oh, am I gonna sneeze? Am I not gonna sneeze? Okay, looks like I'm not. Okay. Sorry about that. But this Atari, it's so sad. Now, killing, like, Atari on these 3 stones, at this point in the game, it's just points, right? Both sides, both the A group and the B group are both really strong and completely alive. They got plenty of eye space. So the Atari on 3 stones, it's only 3 stones. So like 5 points, 6 points at this stage. It's too bad. Okay, so black still separates, but then white is able to play this to capture the cutting stone. So now it's pretty difficult to attack this group. And capturing here, this is really small. There's much bigger moves left on the board. Like this one. That's a big endgame one. Could peep. Peep to play here. To play here. To play here. Lots of big points still. This one's only about 6 points, so another fairly slow move. Yeah, and look, white gets all these big endgame moves. So now it feels like white is taken over, and black is just following. Okay, but white gets this endgame, and this endgame, and this endgame, and this one. So white probably, in the last 20 or so moves that I quickly went through, white probably gained about 20 or 25 points compared with if black had not captured these and instead played the big endgame moves. It's a pity. And then this Hane, black responds here, but white finds very, very nice move. I think if black does this, then okay. Wait. Then black should play here, and white can connect. Black should play here, Atari. So it's a very nice reduction by white. Did I miss anything here? Black can't just push, unfortunately, because Atari. Of course, black can't connect because then Atari, and it's pretty clear. So black captures, but still, this is working. So at this point, black can't get more than 2 liberties. White has 3, so. Black decides to resign. Okay, so the big thing in this game is slow moves. Starting with this one. Oh no, starting with this one. This one is the first move where black really missed a big opportunity. Black says, okay, I'm happy just taking territory under the 4th line, but black should definitely play this clamp, make this group weak, and then you can look for much more than just under the 4th line. You can look to take even more. So that one for sure. Then where was it? This one too. These groups are still quite healthy, so still I want to play this one for sure. This is the big important area. And then here, the peep, which I still think is terrible to jump. Then definitely, I think this is the turning point of the game. If black plays this very severe attack, give a lot of pressure, then pretty sure black should be able to get a good position out of this and good chance of winning. But instead, just jumps and lets white jump, and still the attack This K7 is very important. This is a good way to sort of salvage the attack. If black just keeps jumping, then it's really uninspired. It's like, alright, I'll just let you invade and jump out, and then whatever. So, place here to keep the pressure on, so that's a good way to keep it up. This knight's move, it kind of gets difficult after this point, so I didn't mention it, but maybe black should respond here. Because, as we can see, white is running towards this middle left side, but, you know, there are no friends in sight, just enemies, so it's still going to be very tough to handle this group for white. So maybe this diagonal would be better. But okay, here. And then after this, black is happy to have lived, but really should have... It's a big missed opportunity. Really, white should have had to struggle a lot harder, and black should get a lot more profit. So it's a bit of a shame. And then, okay, here, K2, it's another slow one. I think black should start with this attack immediately. So if white captures, then I think the A group is dead. I could be wrong, but it looks... I think I went through the variations multiple times, but, you know, it's... doesn't even need to do that, probably. Just this, then there's no way to make an eye, right? Or don't have to play there, I guess. Could just descend. So give white the one eye in the center, but that's it. So I think that was black's last chance. After K2, white should really play here to try to strengthen this and capture the two stones, the two black cutting stones, but white plays elsewhere. So black gets the chance. Aha! Everything's going according to plan. Black can extend here and kill everything, but oh no, Atari on these three stones. It's too small. So after this, white is able to get out, and then the game is basically over. Okay, so I hope that the review was informative. I hope we learned some things about slow moves and giving pressure. So rather than just taking points for ourselves and saying, I'll just take points, instead we can attack the opponent's group, and while attacking we can get even more points. Okay, so that does it for my review of Marik versus Hank. Any comments or questions? I would love to hear them. If I missed anything, or if you have anything to add, or anything else at all about any topic. So thanks for watching, and I will... Oh, and last thing, if you enjoy this and you want to see your own game reviewed, leave a comment or send me a message or contact me anyhow, and I'd be more than happy to. So thanks for watching.